Hello and welcome to some last minute Dominion commentary that I'm going to be doing. So this is the team prep tournament again, and Cruiskeen is one of my two teammates along with Mort, and is going to be playing against Mackattack2. And I was hoping to be able to commentate my teammates' matches. Didn't get to last in our previous match, but this match, so when I say match, we each play against a player from one of the other teams. We played one of the teams already, now we're playing a second team. I didn't get to commentate their matches last time, but I'm hoping to this time, and I'm at least going to do Cruiskeen's here. And yeah, so the way this tournament works is we have 8 boards. So I have these up here in a Google Doc. Come back to this in a second, but basically the you pick randomly pick one of the players to go first in the first game. They pick a board. Then the other player goes first in game 2 and picks a board. Then that same player goes second in game 3 and picks a board, and then the player who went first in the first game goes second and picks a board in the fourth game. So it's like a 1-2-1 drafting thing. There's 8 boards total. These two are the first to play in our team's matchup, so they have access to all 8 of the boards. Once they've started to pick boards, I and my teammate Mort start to lose access to those boards. So, for example, here, Mackattack2 picked the D Kingdom, which means that Mackattack's teammates cannot pick the D Kingdom in their matches. It additionally means Cruiskeen can't pick the D Kingdom in this match. But I could pick it in the next match, or in my match, for example, so long as Mort doesn't pick it in his match before I do. Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot to go over with that. But now let's talk about this kingdom. So my preliminary findings with this are that I think you generally want to go for a pretty money-heavy approach. Counterfeit, obviously, is a really nice card here to trash your coppers and to generate economy and buys. And Cruiskeen, fortunately, is able to open with Counterfeit. I would grab a Haven as Cruiskeen. Cruiskeen is hiding hand. I wonder if I can know about that. All right. Anyway, so yeah, there's a couple of things you can do here, right? You can basically just get a bunch of money, like counterfeit stuff, and try to buy green, or you can go for a more action-heavy approach where you try to play fishing villages to activate Diplomat for action and draw. Use Diplomat as your draw. Try to thin out your treasures with counterfeit. Maybe get some hagglers. I've found that more action-heavy approach is not really fast enough. But that's unfortunate. I do like getting the Haven there for Cruiskeen because of Way of the Butterfly. So Way of the Butterfly is pretty nice here. You can turn, you can turn Haven into Silver, into Fool, into Swindler, Fishing Village, kind of whatever you want. You can turn your 3-cost actions into Diplomats or into Silk Roads. You can turn your 4-cost actions into Duchies. So that's all pretty nice. For that reason, I do like getting Fool on this board, which both players have now done. Because if your opponent doesn't get a Fool, you can return it either for a Diplomat or for a Silk Road. And of course, in the meantime, you can discard it. So the way I've tended to play this is I get quite a few counterfeits, like at least 3, maybe more. I usually grab a Swindler, maybe 2, and a Fool, because I do think the Swindler attack is good here. Turning coppers into curses is pretty powerful because you can trash curses with, you can trash coppers with counterfeit, but you can't trash curses unless you get the Flames Gift. So those hurt a lot. And then there's some other things that you can do, like in terms of hitting other cards. Generally less damaging, but like if you turn like a counterfeit into a duchy early, that's pretty harmful. But yeah, other than that, I mostly don't go in for like the fishing village, diplomat, haggler kind of stuff. I just think it's not it's not as quick at getting provinces, and I have found that like trying to go for like Silk Road duchy stuff is just not as effective. Part of the problem is that haggler can't increase the number of green cards you gain. It can only increase the number of like actions that you gain, which or treasures, I guess. But and there is some value in the money deck in having a haggler, but anyway, so Mackattack, first one to play the Fool, also turned that Haven into an estate for cruiskeen, which is pretty unfortunate for cruiskeen. Has and gets flame skiff trashing estate. The trashing the estates is very nice. Like in theory, if you were going to do Silk Road stuff, you might want to keep the estates, but I have not found that to be effective, and except it's just kind of late desperation points, and getting the estates out of the way really helps with lining up your treasures and being able to actually buy provinces. Looks like cruiskeen got a second counterfeit. I do like. Mackattack, I would think so. Mackattack has already invested in a diplomat, so I would think the play here would be to get a second counterfeit in a fishing village for Mackattack. I like having at least two counterfeits in a deck that's trying to play with actions, because it can take some time to thin out those coppers, and you also want to be trashing down the silvers as well that you're getting off the lucky coin. I mean, either way, you want to like have the counterfeit so that you can do that. But specifically with the deck that's trying to draw with diplomat, obviously like treasures are not like really what you want so much of, and so you want to be able to blow up those silvers. Okay, cruiskeen going for a haggler here is surprising to me. Mackattack should obviously discard Fool. Here, there's no reason for Mackattack to exchange with the Butterfly, because cruiskeen also has a Fool, so you want to keep that around so that you can get lost in the woods again after it gets taken away. But instead discards a copper. Yeah, I don't really get that. I would definitely top deck counterfeit. If I were Mackattack, I want to see my counterfeits basically as often as possible. I think Vanillage is actually one of the worst cards on this board. Like if I swindle silver on this board, I'm generally probably going to turn it into Vanillage, because even though like obviously okay, the village isn't a stop card and that's fine, but there's just not like a lot that it's actually giving you, unless you really have like a lot of diplomats and hagglers, and if you do, you probably have ways to activate the diplomats anyway, so you probably don't care too much about the plus actions. It's not like it's a bad card, it's just I've found it to be a like the least appealing option. I mean, I guess if in the deck that has the diplomats, maybe I give them a silver. But if somebody's playing like a pretty action light deck, then just giving them village seems pretty fine. cruiskeen takes a swindler. cruiskeen start with a swindler? Oh no, because they had 5-2. So Mackattack has two swindlers, I guess. Yeah. Okay. I'm not really sure what forgot I drew what that means. Maybe, oh, maybe Mackattack is regretting having discarded Counterfeit now that they have Copper in hand. That would make sense. Swindle estate into estate, friendly swindler. So cruiskeen finally takes Lost in the Woods. I don't know if Field's Gift is going to make a difference here. If not, grabs a third Counterfeit. It's a little bit of a weird combination, third Counterfeit, but also with the Haggler. Cruiskeen has no Diplomats, so may not be trying to do much with... Well, does have a Swindler, though, so I think those are the three... Those three things are Cruiskeen's only actions right now, or maybe Cruiskeen... No, because the Haven got swindled, right? So it's Haggler, Swindler, and Fool. This card's Swindler, that's interesting. Wonder why. Goes for the Diplomat. Alright, so it looks like they're both trying to build here. I don't think I like having the third Counterfeit if that is your goal, to like build towards a deck that's actually playing actions a lot. I think it's overkill. I mean, it's not going to hurt, most likely. You can always counterfeit a counterfeit or something at some point, but I think you got to get that stuff up and running. Although I guess if your opponent isn't trying to green aggressively, maybe it doesn't matter so much. So I would, honestly, for cruiskeen at this point, I would just take Province Gold, I think. Well, might as well take Fishing Village Haven then. Swindler Haven? You gotta have Fishing Villages if you want to activate the Diplomats. I mean, sometimes you're gonna activate them off of Swindler, but not all the time, not reliably. I think Fishing Village is just a better card right now for cruiskeen. They're given the direction they're going. The one thing that the more action-heavy deck can do, obviously, is they'll have more cards that they can butterfly into Silk Road and to Duchy late in the game. So we'll see to what extent either player takes advantage of that. Obviously, that's going to be a ways off the way they've been playing it. No Haggler in play for Mackattack. Does go for Province, though. Interesting. Flame's Gift is in the pile again. So that's something both players should really pay attention to. And now it's... Well, it's more likely to turn up. Of course, Mackattack isn't going to have the opportunity to get it now that they're no longer Lost in the Woods. Yeah, what cruiskeen is doing here doesn't really fit well together. Like if you are going to go for diplomats and all of that, there's not really any reason to buy gold. You want to just be playing Fishing Village, Swindler, Haggler for your money. Crash is a wisp. Ouch. I don't know what the hesitation's about here. That just becomes a curse. I guess Mackattack maybe doesn't realize what happened. No, it says waiting for Mackattack. Maybe, yeah, maybe it just lagged out on their end or something. All right, well, yeah, Lost in the Woods does help activate the Diplomat, of course, which is nice. Haven as well. Copper to Curse. All right, I really want to see a province here. It'll be interesting to... Old counterfeit. That's, I don't know. I don't really get the combination of like playing with the diplomat stuff, but then also going for golds. Another counterfeit. That's so many counterfeits. I do worry that I may have misled my teammate with my phrasing about this board. Silver into a second Fool. Definitely not a good thing, but it can be butterflied, so it's not the end of the world. Not great. We still haven't seen Flame's Gift, right? So Estate may not have been the right discard there, but I don't know what cruiskeen's hand looks like. The village, yeah, that's not looking too hot to me. Well, Mackattack should definitely discard the Fool. Oh, never mind. They weren't lost in the woods, right? Of course. They should definitely trash a state. Got the Flames Gift. Let's see if they do. Like, I can understand the thought process that, like, oh, I've started greening, so now I want to keep my green cards. But, yeah, okay, they did. But I would definitely trash the estate. It's going to just make it harder to continue to hit province, and that's what you really care about. So Mackattack is lost in the woods and has a Haven in hand, so I would not activate the Diplomat if I were Mackattack. Well, this is interesting. We're at a point in the game where giving Mackattack a duchy seems pretty questionable. I'd always give them the Haggler back. I give them a counterfeit. I think Mackattack. I don't know whether Mackattack would rather have a counterfeit or a Haggler right now. Goes with the duchy. Okay. Well, there's a province for cruiskeen. I think. So in theory, Mackattack should know what this boon is. I doubt they do. I don't know what it is. Moon's Gift. Okay, that's actually pretty good. I would probably have discarded a Haven to get Moon's Gift. So Mackattack guarantees province if they top deck counterfeit here, so I would just do that. Or gold. Either way. Silver even. But I would go with the counterfeit. Okay. Top deck's a gold. Yeah, that's fine. Only thing is now you drew another diplomat. You can play like Swindler or Haggler, play another diplomat. Maybe you draw into even more money, and you don't know if you have plus buy. So that's why I would have gone with the counterfeit. Well, one reason I would have gone with the counterfeit. Ashes diplomat. That's got to be a potion. No question about it. Yep. Unfortunate. You can counterfeit the potion to get it out of your deck, but it doesn't do anything. Well, Mackattack sure better hope they can find another counterfeit. Maybe they can. At this rate. Nope. The top deck counterfeit. I mean, I think Mackattack is still probably going to win this game, so I don't know if it matters too much, but would have had, assuming counterfeit silver here, you lose 2 coins going from gold to counterfeit, but you gain 2 coins by trashing a silver, and so you can buy province duchy or province gold or something. Flames Gift. Hopefully cruiskeen has one of those curses in hand. There you go. Although it's conceivable that cruiskeen should have declined to trash and discarded the Curse with Wind's Gift instead in order to set up something else. But who can say without being able to look at their hand? So, oh boy, I would probably give Haggler here. I don't think I would give Duchy. I don't think you can afford to give Duchy. Yeah, okay. Oh, phew, okay. This is a pretty rough situation for cruiskeen, though. Like, you're down by 13 and there's only 2 provinces left. Like, you're going to have see some real duds from Mackattack. And, of course, this right here ain't it. This might be. It might be too little too late. If cruiskeen gets the last province, they're at 21. So then they have 13 more points to come back with between duchies and Silk Roads. They're going to have to start exchanging things into Duchy and Silk Road like sooner rather than later here. Okay, so they can go double Duchy. That's something. I don't know what that village drew, but turning it into a Silk Road probably would have been good. Because Mackattack, I mean, Mackattack should definitely play Fool. And it's not impossible that Fool will save their turn, but... I mean, at a minimum, what they can do is play Fool, and then if nothing particularly valuable happens, they can just delay the Haggler, which I think... Yeah, I don't think this is much of a decision at all, to be honest. You just play Fool. There's no reason to play Haggler. You can only buy a 3, who cares? You will always have the option to delay the Haggler no matter what the Fool does. And delaying the Haggler is really strong in terms of finishing off the provinces. That seems pretty unnecessary. Would definitely rather be lost in the woods than have a Silk Road in Mackattack's position. Hey, look, it's that estate that they should have trashed. Will it prevent them from winning the game? Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, I think Mackattack has enough of a lead. They don't need that Silk Road. They should just take Lost in the Woods. Okay. Silk Road only worth what, like 2 points? Looked like. Oh, that's not it. Not yet, anyway. Could still... The other thing Mackattack could consider doing is delaying the Diplomat. They did not. Proves to be a mistake. Oh, I definitely would have counterfeited the lucky coin there to take a Duchy instead of a Silk Road. I don't think it'll matter, but So right now, cruiskeen has closed the gap a little bit. If they get the last province, they're at 32, so then they need 6 more points on top of that to get into a tie. Discards a counterfeit. Oh, I guess, yeah, I see. Well, maybe I see. I mean, I don't know what else is in their hand. So hopefully you're hitting a green card here if you're cruiskeen. Well, this is pretty likely to hit province, though, for Mackattack. They're going to have an activated diplomat and 4 coins already. They also potentially have the option to... Oh! Huh. I guess that is safer because you could hit province, but man, if you hit duchy... If you hit duchy there, turn that into haggler or something, be pretty nice. Huh, got the potion out of the way. That's nice. Oh, Haven. Well, they can just Haven the province again. And should. That's game, yeah. Rude. Gotta turn diplomat into duchy here, right? Oh. Disappointing. All right. Mackattack takes the first one. Yeah, I don't like cruiskeen's deck composition. 6 counterfeits is definitely too many. Like, yeah, that's just too many. I also just think that they kind of didn't pick one approach or the other. They kind of went in between and greened a little too late, too. All right, so I think now cruiskeen is actually going to... the reason they left is so that I could see their hands, so... Hopefully that will be the case. So... here are the boards. Whoops, sorry. So we just played D. So we can kind of, I guess, just hide that entirely. So yeah, we've got. I don't know. I don't think I can summarize these quickly enough to go over it all. But hopefully you can. I mean, you can always pause the video to look that over. So yeah, it's now cruiskeen's pick for boards, as Mackattack picked that one. Oh. Where the cards are? Did it just make me the host? Sick. something that may not be obvious from the list of tables is that none of them have colonies or shelters. We are playing 100% vanilla. Oh, what's taking so long for Mackattack to rejoin? All right, I guess I'm just gonna pause. Oh, no, never mind. There's Mackattack. Right as I realized I could pause the thing and not waste time, it's too late. Kingdom E. That's gonna be... Oh, good. I don't feel confident in my read on how to play that board, so I'm glad I won't have to pick it. I mean, I could still end up having my opponent pick it, but... So yeah, this board, Seer and Experiment are the draw cards. Well, I guess in theory Apprentice, but I don't think there's like a good way to get stuff to Apprentice for draw. There's also Owl, but that's pretty tough to set up consistently. Excuse me. And I think basically Seer is the draw. Oh, cruiskeen gets to open Recruiter. But so yeah, it's pretty gain limited. You've got Herbalist as your only source of plus buy, not great. You got Expand, which isn't really gains, but it does like help out with the Recruiter, and obviously it's a nice payload option, especially with Scepter. You can potentially play a lot of Expands in one turn. But the tricky thing is that, like, normally Seer, what does Seer want for payload? Well, Seer wants, on this board, Silver and I guess Herbalist, right? Those are the cards that it can draw, but Expand wants 5 costs or more expensive to be able to turn into provinces. So there's kind of like an awkward balance there. I think, in theory, the way that you manage this is by getting experiments and having basically Seer draw experiments, and then experiments draw the expensive stuff, and then expand the expensive stuff. But it's a tricky balance to strike, I have found. Silos is really nice, and a funny thing you can do with Silos is you can, if you get an Herbalist because you want plus buy, you can top deck Copper and then Silos it, and that way you know that it's going to be at the bottom of your shuffle, which in some ways can be a bad thing with Seer draw, because then you like probably won't be able to draw it back up, because like this, it'll Seer and just leave it on the bottom. Except of course that means you can just Silos it again next turn, so it's fine. Anyway, so I would definitely be taking a Silver here as cruiskeen. Sorry, no, I would be taking Silos. What am I talking about? Cruiskeen hit 4. Okay, cruiskeen does go with Silver. Still has the opportunity to grab Silos here, and should. Mackattack with the opportunity to pick up a Recruiter. I assume they will. Please don't skip Silos, cruiskeen. Okay, excellent. Yeah, I would have done it in the other order, but it's probably fine. Mackattack going for the experiments early. I don't really like that. I mean, like, the question is, like, or what am I gonna say? Like, experiments are essentially like taking a turn to like not actually put a card into your deck, which is pretty rough when you're trying to play with Recruiter and expands. Like, because you're gain limited. I mean, at some point you do want the experiments, but I don't really want them at that stage of the game. All right, so cruiskeen picks up a Seer. I'd imagine we're going to see Mackattack do the same thing. Oh, well, okay, that's fair. Silos. Pitch them all. And recruit estate here and probably buy expand. That's what I would do. So one of the things I've tried to figure out is, do you want to play with, do the like select mass expand sort of thing, or do you want to just maybe play with one expand to like increase your gains and otherwise like go for silvers and an herbalist or two and, you know, a bunch of seers and just try to draw with seer and buy stuff? And I still don't really know the answer to that question. But I think either way you want at least one expand, so. Okay, I guess I think that the like mass expand stuff is probably better, but I'm not sure that if I know how to play it so as to actually make it better, if that makes sense. So cruiskeen definitely outpacing in terms of the estate trashing, having trashed all 3 estates before Mackattack trashed their second. Of course, being first player and getting to open recruiter, you know, that's going to help. No reason to worry about the order there. So this is an interesting decision. Do you play the recruiter or not? Or sorry, the expand or not? I mean, you can like expand silver into seer and then rebuy the silver, and then you haven't really done anything other than just buy seer. If you don't want seer, you can go copper into something and then pick up a minstrel, and you do want some minstrels in your deck, not only because eventually you're gonna like stop generating much in the way of villagers with recruiter, but also because no minstrel, okay. But also because minstrel is really nice for setting up seer. Like making sure that like the first card that you're going to draw is like a 5 cost, and then like the cards after that are the cheaper ones. More relevant if you have other minstrels and experiments. And I guess the other thing is minstrel just generally obviously increases the seer draw because it's not a stop card and it is a card that seer will pick up. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of getting an herbalist without getting a minstrel there for cruiskeen, because like you're just going to start burning through villagers trying to play expand and recruiter and herbalist. All right, so Mackattack gets the expand going. So what to do here is cruiskeen. I don't think herbalist is going to do too terribly much. Like this might be... Oh. Interesting. Not what I was expecting. I was going to say this might be a situation where you consider... It's a scepter. Huh. Okay. But that might have been a situation where you would consider expanding and then playing herbalist as owl. I mean, if you were gonna... Well, I guess it doesn't really... I'm just a little confused about, like, if you were gonna go herbalist into seer, why not just buy seer the previous turn rather than getting, like, herbalist and experiments? I guess cruiskeen only has 2 seers. For some reason I thought they had 3. I don't know really what Scepter is doing here. Like, I don't think... Oh. Oh no. Not gold. Oh no. I don't like any of this. Why not owl the recruiter? You have 6 villagers. Use them. Like, you could potentially Scepter the Expand or something. And I just don't like gold in general. Like, if you're gonna... The thing about gold on this board is you can expand 5s into province. So, if you're gonna add expensive cards, you're better off just grabbing Seer or Scepter, or even like Cartographer, something that can do more work for you if you're not expanding it. Whereas gold, I mean, you know, okay, it's money, but like you're better off having silver in your deck if you just want money, because because the Seer will draw it. So yeah, I think gold is basically wrong 100% of the time on this board. So an opportunity to double expand here. To what end, I'm not exactly sure. Okay, apparently not the end of... but apparently we're not doing double expand at all. Spying province. Well, yeah, I don't really think this makes sense, but cruiskeen might be ahead enough that it won't matter if Mackattack doesn't find like a significantly more effective line. Still, though, Ash Copper to experiment. I'm concerned that what cruiskeen is ultimately doing is just like destroying their deck. Like, trashing stuff into experiments and then playing the experiments and then like gonna end up with not really anything left in their deck to work with. That's one of the reasons I'm like, in general on this board, I'm a little hesitant to just expand copper into experiment as opposed to silver. I mean, you want some experiments, like I was saying, to like combine with the Seer draw, but it's very easy to end up in a situation, especially if you continue playing Recruiter, where you have you just have very little in the way of actual payload in your deck. Like, whether that's payload for purchasing things or like stuff that you can expand into province. Other teammate Mort in the chat. The other thing is, I don't think it's super important that you like really aggressively filter through your coppers, because the way that or like get rid of your coppers rather, because the way that like the silo stuff works with, like, you know, you silos a bunch of coppers away and then you draw with Seer and you end up with top decking coppers and then you silos them again the next turn. It's actually like pretty, like, you want to draw some of the coppers so that you can expand them into better cards, but you don't necessarily want to expand them into experiments just to sort of like get rid of them, I think, because like they represent an opportunity to expand them into something more permanent. All right, what are we expanding here? I'm guessing experiment. I'm kind of expecting gold based on... not that I think it should be gold, but just based on what's been happening. Scepter. So Scepter's not really doing anything right now, is is the thing. Scepter can do things on this board, but I think cruiskeen needs another seer more than a scepter, like quite a bit more. I mean, the good news is that it seems like Mackattack's deck hasn't really come together either. Well, we'll see what they can figure out this turn. One big difference is that Mackattack has only one villager and cruiskeen has 5. Neither of them have any wandering minstrels, which is not great in my opinion. I think minstrel is a very nice card to have on this board. I mean, the primary alternative is to continue recruiting, you know, stuff that's more expensive than copper, which is just is really rough to be able to continue doing with how limited the gains are. Not sure what Scepter is doing here for Mackattack either. Maybe expanding the recruiter, but Mackattack wants to buy province. They're going to need to play the experiment. There's got to be expand, right? Yeah. Let's see what they're expanding. Experiment into gold. All right. Another scepter. Yeah, both of them need more seers and minstrels. So this could be an opportunity for cruiskeen to mill some provinces, like expand province into province, scepter expand scepter into province. Now you've got 3 provinces with 4 provinces left, and Mackattack starts to be in a pretty rough position. I think given this hand, that's what I would do. Why another scepter? What's that gonna do? Well, it's got to be scepter province into province over trashing province. Yeah, okay. So essentially, that turn, cruiskeen bought province. Like the net effect. Oh no, because they trashed the silver. Which probably not a good thing, but. Cruiskeen still has 5 villagers, so they're going to be able to play their expand if they. Well, they only have the 1 expand, but they're going to be able to play terminals if they. I guess that they only have the 2 terminals though, right? They expand in their recruiter. One of the reasons still have 5 villagers. A Mackattack can get 2 provinces with this hand, but not 3. That's what they're inclined to try to do. How many experiments have been expanded at this point? 4? Seems like a lot. I think in general... debating anything. But yeah, I think in general here... I'm not looking to expand my experiments very often. With Arabs the Seer. Okay, so yeah, I mean, getting another Seer makes sense, although... if I'm Mackattack, I'm starting to be concerned about running out of time. They did draw a recruiter, so now they could triple province here. I don't know that that's a good idea, but they could do it, right? Scepter trashing, expanding recruiter, Scepter expanding seer. Okay, never mind. Well, no, actually they drew a seer, so they could still do it. But yeah, Scepter expanding recruiter, Scepter expanding seer, and then buy province. It's an option, probably not a great idea. But to be honest, I don't know what else Mackattack should really be doing instead. They used up their last villager, so I guess it doesn't actually matter since they have 1 terminal in their entire deck. Looks like they're going for it. Which means hopefully cruiskeen can find expand, and that will probably be sufficient to win, especially because cruiskeen has plenty of villagers, can play as Owl. That's the one thing that Mackattack can't do now. That they have no villagers. Obviously discard copper with silos. Oof. Well, it would hardly be a shocking dud for cruiskeen to not draw here. Oh, I don't like playing recruiter first at all. I do not like that. No, you want to see. Oh my gosh! What what? Don't need 11 village. Okay, I would definitely have played Seer first, so you could sort cards before you play your recruiter. I don't think that order at all. Not to mention having more information before you use your recruiter. But yeah, I mean, you obviously trash copper here. What? Draws another province. Yeah, that'll happen. Well, the order doesn't matter, so don't worry about that. Unless, well, wait. No, I don't think... You could consider, like, sceptering Seer to draw expand, but I don't think that actually helps. Oh? Well, don't... That... Okay, what... Oh, yeah, wait. No, that definitely doesn't help. What am I talking about? Because you can't actually play the expand. Yeah, I don't know. If you're Mackattack here... Oh, you get to Silos Coppers. Yeah, cruiskeen could easily lose this game here. Ugh, unfortunate. Well, let's see what the Seer draws. Silver. That, yeah, that should do it. You draw the scepter, and that's game. Oh man. I don't know if there was any way cruiskeen was actually going to make it through that prior turn with given the cards that they had on top of their deck. But they definitely should have played the Seer first. But even if they had played Seer into Recruiter rather than Recruiter into Seer, I don't know if it would have helped as it turned out. I mean, I think the fundamental problem is that cruiskeen's deck just wasn't very good. Rude. Play it. Don't just say GG. What? I don't really know what the holdup is here. Oh. Once again, Mackattack fails to maximize points. They could have sceptered expand to trash gold into province, then bought like an estate, I think, with the 4 coins from the silvers. So, unfortunate start for... No, it is not your turn again, Mackattack. Unfortunate start for cruiskeen there. 2 Seers is definitely not enough. That's for sure. So that was board E. Had that one. Let's see what is remaining. All right, well, we got a BRB, so this time I'm going to actually pause. All right. We appear to be ready to go here. cruiskeen figured out how the player order works. And we are playing Kingdom C. So this one is pretty interesting. I'll be interested to see how cruiskeen approaches this, because there's kind of two ways to do it. One is to play a pretty like dumb basic denizen money thing, and the other one is to play a deck with a lot of libraries, a lot of lurkers, a lot of inns and hamlets, and to like play some counts and some islands and try to like just do like really go all in for DTX, despite the fact that there's no like that. I should say, despite the fact that count is the only treasure trashing, you don't plan to use that because there's so much discard. Mackattack opens double Silk Merchant, which I don't really like. We'll see what they do with it. Only got 2 coins down there. I would probably play the other Silk Merchant just to not have to go through that hand. Maybe hit 7 here and you grab 2 cards. Or 8 for that matter. Oh. Exile's a gold. Okay. So maybe they just did that because you might as well, or maybe they wanna. Never mind. They don't want it at gold. Oh, because they're using a villager to do that, of course. Yeah, that is definitely not a might as well, and definitely shouldn't have done that. Okay, so goes for the count, so maybe planning to trash down. I actually don't think either of the game plans really benefit from count trashing, but maybe that's not what they're planning to do with it. cruiskeen gets another Silk Merchant. Okay. I actually don't think that getting a bunch of Silk Merchants is very good on this board. I think what you want to do, and I probably should have mentioned this already, in general, is trash Silk Merchants with Lurkers and get the Coffer and Villager from that. And then in some cases, you maybe lurk them back out of the trash for similar reasons, but having 2 Silk Merchants is probably fine. But I think cruiskeen had hit 5 there, and I probably would have just gone with either den or library. I'm not really sure. And the library deck is pretty complicated to play because it's very important to time your inns well and to manage like what cards you're discarding and like the order of that you're playing things and stuff like that. Mackattack only has 1 lurker, so I would think the only sensible thing to trash here is Silk Merchant to get the tokens, because anything else you trash, cruiskeen can just grab. I mean, you could trash something you don't want, like Leprechaun, I guess, but okay, there you go. I sense another Silk coming in. But maybe not. Maybe like Lurker, Lurker, or Lurker Hamlet. Okay. I would probably take Hamlet here. Having, like, uneven numbers of lurkers is usually not so appealing. But that's what Mackattack's going to go with. Ugh, gross. I would go ahead and play Silk Merchant here, I think. Just gonna go double lurker. That, in my opinion, is too early to add more lurkers. I want libraries. Like I want to be able to draw and actually pair the lurkers up and not just like stuff my deck full of lurkers. Okay, so Mackattack does go for the trash. Cruiskeen exiling a gold. Not really. Oh my gosh, that's so many lurkers. Yeah, I don't anticipate that gold ever coming into play. I certainly hope it doesn't, given that cruiskeen is spamming lurkers. Like, they've got to go for the library stuff. Gold is just gonna hurt. You can get that leprechaun out if you want. You probably don't want. I would say so. It's pretty unfortunate that cruiskeen doesn't have that offer because really? You wanted to spend a villager to do that? Okay. I assume this is going to be gain copper trash hand. Anyway, yeah, if cruiskeen could like gain a library and then also buy an inn, that would be really nice here. Can't, so I would definitely take library. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, that's so now you got like 3 silk merchants with your libraries. Like, they don't really work together very well. And you don't need the buys, because you're doing most of your gains through lurkers. Wait, why? Why are there only 2 lurkers left? I thought Mackattack had an odd number and cruiskeen had an even number. Must be wrong. Cruiskeen got 2, 4, 5. Oh. Well, buy a 6th here, although I would really rather they got up Hamlet. And that's part of the reason that I don't think that like Silk Merchant as draw is very good, is because you got to use Hamlet once, like at some point the villagers are going to run out. Oh my god. Library with 4 Silk Merchants, why? I would have taken in there, shuffled in the inn and the library. Take Hamlet here. But could also take a lurker, I guess, since you got 5 lurkers. Okay, now you got 6. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is going to fit together very well. And once again, I'm concerned that my discussion of the strategy of this board might have been misleading. If I said something to the effect of you want a lot of lurkers, which is true, but you don't want them all like front loaded. You want to get a couple pretty early, and then you want to like start adding them after you've started to add some draw. Wow, piles are really low here, so that's something to watch out for as well. Yeah, if I were Mackattack here, I would probably take a Duchy. Discard 2 copper, take a Duchy. I mean, you could take coins and buy province, I guess, would be another option. Maybe that's better. Depends on what you're going to buy. Otherwise, if you take the Duchy, I wouldn't top deck silver. You lose just as many coins, but now you have a silver on top of your deck. That's no good. Well, whoa, 13. That's all the coffers gone, practically. Okay. See, Mackattack has almost no villagers and has a lot of Silk Merchants in their deck, so I don't really know how this is supposed to work out for them. Cruiskeen at least has villagers left. Don't play that lurker. Oh, never mind, there's a Silk Merchant, of course. Well, still think you should buy Hamlet. Or Inn, actually. You've got coffers. And you still haven't gotten through that shuffle. So you could shuffle in your Inn and your library and a bunch of your lurkers. Like 3 or 4 lurkers. He's an island. Yeah, this is... Yeah. How are you lining things up? Whereas, yeah, Mackattack's going to run out of the ability to play their deck real quick here unless they start adding Inns or Hamlets. Well, the Hamlets won't really help with this shuffle, but Inn would. There's all the Silk Merchants are gone, yeah. So no more villagers or coffers are coming unless you trash them with Count. Which is... doesn't... Oh, man, you want the Leprechaun? I mean, trashing them with Count can make some sense, but like the problem is you're basically always killing your turn when you do that. because you have no hand left, obviously. And then your opponent does have the opportunity to pick them back up rather than you getting the first crack at them. So you can't do like a trash them, gain them back thing. There go Mackattack2's villagers. Oh man, I think they're gonna do it. No, okay, never mind. Province here then, maybe? Yeah, I still think Mackattack is just not gonna be able to play their deck now. They could grab an inn here and not play their Silk Merchant and then like have a reasonable next turn. Well, this is not. See, the inn doesn't do very much when you don't have other actions to bring with it. It's not the right timing. I mean, yes and no. Okay, well, you can island a state, you're ripping through your villagers pretty quickly, but I really don't want to see like another island by here. I want to see Hamlet. Den of Sin would actually also be reasonable. Gold? No, no, no. Oh no, oh. Ugh. Well, I mean, I would, if I were Mackattack here, I'm top decking. Gosh, I don't even know because you only have the one in. You can top deck a Silk Merchant and either like a Count or another one, maybe a Lurker. Just count. Wait, not you didn't shuffle in the inn? What? Does that make any sense? Oh yeah, this bug. Yeah, well, you don't want to, so you should be happy. But yeah, there's a bug within where if you gain in via Lurker, then okay, I'll just try to message cruiskeen and tell him there's a bug. So you gain in with Lurker, you can only select one one instance of a type of action. Yeah, I think refreshing does fix it. But yeah, I don't know why you would want to shuffle in multiple or 3 silk merchants like that. You have no. Yeah, I guess it. I thought refreshing did fix it, but I would still gain the inn if I were Mackattack. But like I don't know what they want to do instead. But it's like yeah, I mean the problem is you just have so many terminals and so few villages. And now you've added another one. I mean, granted, it's points, but now, I mean, now you haven't alleviated your terminal space issues at all. Cruiskeen's not a whole lot better off, having burned through several villagers and having all of one inn. And Cruiskeen... Yeah, it just triggered a shuffle. I don't... No, it was a good idea. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not sure whether... Okay, picks up a hamlet. I like to see that. I like to see that. Unfortunately, no inn here, which is why I would have definitely considered just gaining another inn as Cruiskeen, stuffing that in the deck. But does have a villager, so can go like lurker, trashing in, and then play the library, and then go from there. Expecting an island buy here from Mackattack. Yeah, so this is the problem, is that now Cruiskeen is pretty behind on points. Doesn't have a count for gaining duchies, and the piles are getting low. So they just don't have time. Like, spending all that time gaining silk merchants was mostly just wheel spinning. Trash another island? No, you can't afford to. Don't keep. Okay, you're not keeping the silk merchants, surely. Like, you gotta skip those. So you don't burn all your villagers out right here. No, don't. No. Oh, no. Oh. Well, island the state, I guess. I mean, are you gonna... Yeah. Now you have no villagers. Oh, boy. Well... Oh, gaining... I don't know why you want another lurker. I don't think you do. Alright, well, buy a hamlet, I guess. Or an estate, for that matter, I mean, at this point. Yeah, this is looking real rough for Cruiskeen. I mean, if you're gonna do a thing where you... get a bunch of silk merchants and don't add any villages to your deck, then I guess at that point, trashing... Well, I guess it wasn't even really the count trashing. It was mostly just that Mackattack saved up their coffers. Okay, so this is nice. Mackattack doesn't reach island. Wait, why? Oh, of course, Mackattack just trashed an island. Okay, well, you can gain the island and maybe buy province. I would definitely discard copper here for action. Yeah, gain the island, buy province, and now you are tied. So I guess the golds did pay off here at least. And Mackattack is going to have a nothing turn again. Fear. Well, that's not going to do anything. They play Den of Sin. And now there's a chance cruiskeen can just win here if they, depending on what their in draws. Yeah, that's a win. No, wait, what? No, what? Okay, that's still a win. Trash Island. Buy Island. Don't need to... What? What? Okay, fine, buy a state. Okay. Ah! Alright, yeah, so in the end, Mackattack's complete lack of villages did punish them. I still don't think... Like, I still don't think you want 5 Silk Merchants in your deck there. Even if you do add the villages, I think, like, the library is just better. But trashing the Silk Merchants, like, makes sense when you have, like, a single lurker. But I don't want to pick them back up. All right, so we go to B. So we just did C. Get a B. Oh, the Vineyard board. Okay. This is an interesting one. And, basically, well, since they haven't updated thing, although I don't want them to start while I'm not like looking at the page, but basically on this board you got border guards, chariot races, border villages, falconers, and then you got vineyards, and those are basically the cards you care about. Defiled Shrine, I guess, you can potentially get an Overlord, but basically what you want to do is like gain border guards first and foremost, and then chariot races with falconer, and then buy vineyards and score a bunch of points. And the border guards can just like cycle you through your deck. There's no plus buy, so you know, like the gains are limited in that respect. You could get Horn of Plenty, but I don't think there's like a real way to make like a mega turn work because there's no draw. Like all there is sifting. Okay, so Mackattack opening with a chariot race is a good sign, I think, because I don't think that's a good opening. Like, I would much rather have all the border guards than all the chariot races if it came to that. Good sign for my team, I mean, I guess I should say. Yeah, so my recommended opening, which for this board with cruiskeen has followed, is to get a silver, because I want to be able to hit 5 and 6, and it's going to be impossible to do that without, more or less impossible to do that without a silver in the deck. And then I just like spam border guards unless I hit 5 or 6, in which case, you know, pick up falconer or border village falconer. Like, it's okay if you don't hit 5 right away. You just keep buying border guards, and eventually you will have a hand where you're going to hit 5 or even 6. So like if cruiskeen finds silver right now, they'll hit 5. No, they didn't. That's okay. Buy border guard. Keep on trucking. Yeah, okay, they're basically guaranteed to hit 5 here. And you want the falconer even if like the border guards and chariot races have run out, so you can falconer for potion to buy vineyard. Yeah, I definitely want to win the border guard split on this board because it's all about that sifting. So I think the play by Mackattack to be getting the chariot races is not so great. The other thing is you can use falconer for silver, of course, to get to border village rather, which is nice. Gains a Horn of Plenty. Yeah, I don't think Horn does so much. I would definitely rather have the falconer because falconer's an action, right? Border guard. No, that's sad. I would take the second falconer here. Okay. Defiled shrine points are looking pretty good right now, but making your vineyards worth as much as possible is also very important. So. Yeah, like you want it. All right, so yeah, Mackattack takes the curse, so that's out of the question. All right, here we just grab the falconer and grab 2 border guards. Border guard, border guard, border guard, border guard, border guard, border guard, border guard. It is unfortunate that cruiskeen has not hit 6 at all. I guess they haven't seen. It took them a while to hit falconer, and then they haven't. Then now that they saw a falconer, they can't get to 6 even with the falconer. Cruiskeen bought a chariot race. How is that nice? Yeah, I would not have done that. I just want all the border guards, but still has the opportunity to pick up multiple border guards here. I mean, it's worth noting, chariot race has earned Mackattack exactly 1 point so far. He's just not very good on this board. As like a no, don't detour. Oh, no. And I guess if you can hit 6 with Horn of Plenty, like that's pretty good, but the thing is, like, you really want, like, because the more border guards you have, the more able you are to find exactly the cards that you want in your deck, which changes over the course of the game. So, like, early on, you want to find your falconers, and ideally, you have a border village, and then you, like, line up multiple falconers with the border village so you can play them all. Then as the game progresses, you're going to want to find falconer or potion if you have, like, the potion in your deck, so you can get my vineyard, like, that sort of thing. But yeah, so the point is, like, the more border guards you have, like, you don't have any draw, right? So you just want to have, like, stuff your deck as full of border guards as possible, so you can make sure that you can sift enough that you find exactly what you need every time reliably. And Chariot Race doesn't help you do that. All Chariot Race does really is give you extra actions for Vineyard. All right, grab the Falconer, obviously. I would go ahead and grab the Falconer. Well, actually, no, there was no reason to grab the Falconer. Never mind. I mean, you could grab a Fool Skull, I guess, but just empty the border guards here. Silver? Why? Doesn't do anything. See the need for another Falconer when you already... Yeah, I don't know. You already don't have any border villages, so you can't play so many Falconers at once anyway. So Mackattack actually Mackattack actually buys a potion, which I don't like. You could just take copper here and yeah, buy a border village. Border guard. Yeah, this does not appear to be going cruiskeen's way right now. Well, I think cruiskeen does still have a major border guard advantage, so we'll see what that translates into. Could take... No, okay, we're just going to go straight for the vineyards. I don't know how I feel about that. I would have definitely considered taking border village, border guard there. And here, now that you got the potion in the deck, like I'm just trying to find that potion so that I can falconer for the last border guard. I'm taking border guard, not chariot race. Okay. Oh, well, now you could just take the falconer and play falconer for border guard, falconer for potion. Go ahead and play the race, why not? Alright, falconer for border guard. Yep. Okay. Don't trigger that shuffle. I guess it's okay. Can you hit border village here? Border guard, border village, chariot race, falconer, copper, silver potion. Oh wow, you can hit province? Well, I would take a province. Yeah, border village, duchy. That's reasonable. Border village falconer would have also been reasonable, or even border village horn. I think the tide is starting to turn. Mackattack has at this point scored 2 points off of chariot race. It just turns out when you're not trashing. So Mackattack has got to take potion here by vineyard. Four vineyards left. Obviously take falconer. Take race. Oh, gotta take potion. So Mackattack's vineyards are worth 4, and cruiskeen's are worth 5. So that's good. Now the problem here is that there's 2 vineyards left, so cruiskeen's in an awkward spot. They're gonna wanna... Okay, you got the horn. That's helpful. The problem is... Oh, wow, that was a really lucky pull. Okay, grab the falconer, and now you might be able to hit province. Border guard, chariot race, border village, falconer, copper, silver, potion, horn. Yep, you can hit province. So take that's unnecessary. And could have triggered your opponent's thing. I don't know how I feel about cruiskeen taking the vineyard there, though. Okay, so it looks like Mackattack didn't find a potion, so that's good news. Mackattack has only one Falconer in their deck. I don't know how many potions they've gained. I think 2. But yeah, this is one of the reasons it's nice to have the extra Falconers. And not to mention the border guards, right? That being said, this is a pretty rough hand for cruiskeen. Obviously, take border guard. Take race. It's unfortunate. Yeah, that's no good. Yeah, no, it's over. Falconer for potion. That's... yeah. Feels a little unjust, to be honest. How many... yeah, cruiskeen had 8 border guards and still choked. Which just seems really unlikely. The 3 silvers did not help. And at least one of those silvers was totally unnecessary. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, in general on this board, I only want to take silver if it allows me to buy Border Village where I wouldn't otherwise be able to after the first shuffle, or like after the opening. I mean, I think I think there may have been a situation where like gaining silver like allowed Horn to gain province or something like that, and you know that has some sense to it obviously as well. But I don't. Or no, I guess that wasn't for cruiskeen. That never came up. I don't know. I don't think it did. But in that situation, it would make sense. But I mean, I don't know. Like the 8 border guards with both border guard upgrades should have been sufficient. I don't know if cruiskeen was still working through that bad shuffle though. But like the shuffle that they triggered, where they found the horn. I think they had shuffled again since then, so probably not. I didn't pay attention to what shuffle they triggered the turn before, if any. Honestly, though, I'm surprised it was as close as it was with Mackattack only having 1 Falconer. They did get the Defiled Shrine points, which is a big deal. So, Defiled Shrine was a net of 6 points because it was worth 7 at the time. And that was the margin of victory. I mean, that doesn't, you know, it oversimplifies things to say like, well, that's why you won, but I mean, as a percentage of the point totals, it's fairly large, worth more than a vineyard anyway. But yeah, I think the slight deviations like from the plan did not help cruiskeen. Like cruiskeen did get some races before border guards, but even so, looking at the decks, like it's hard to see why that would have been enough to cost the game. So, well, unfortunate result for my team. Hope it's not my fault for giving misleading advice. One of the things about like trying to summarize, like if you don't, so my teammates are both in Europe and I'm in America, which makes it hard for them to play at the same time that I'm playing, especially during the week. And so like if we go off and play the boards, by ourselves and then we talk about it, I can end up, I can see where I'd be giving advice that would suggest like you should be doing this thing when what I really mean is you should be doing that thing. And the difference between those is that I'm alighting like things that like seem obvious to me but are not actually obvious. So like an example might be with the lurker stuff. I'd have to look back at the notes that I wrote up on that board, and of course that was the one that cruiskeen won anyway. I did say, if you're going to play the library deck, you have to get a lot of lurkers. But I don't know if I said you have to get a lot of libraries too, or if I said you don't want to get the lurkers before you get some of the draw, or whatever. So that that might have been misleading. I don't know if I said you don't really need silk merchants because you're relying on library for draw. So there may have been some things like that. I talked in pretty great detail about this board and about getting border guards first and foremost, and cruiskeen mostly kept to that for a while and then deviated. I did not when I played this, I never got Horn of Plenty. Obviously, getting Horn of Plenty, like it looks good. Having watched this game, it did good stuff. I think the question is like counterfactually, like, are you moving faster if you don't get the Horn of Plenty? Are you having more trouble lining up your stuff? Honestly, the fact that Mackattack was able to keep pace and get 4 vineyards, it seems almost miraculous to me with only 2 border guards. Like, I don't know how they got around their deck. They ended the game with 3 potions. One of them was gained on the last turn, though. So that means they bought the previous 3 vineyards with a combined 2 potions over the course of like 4 turns. I think they missed once, and again, despite only having 2 border guards, that just seems, and only 1 falconer, that just seems like incredibly unlikely to me. So maybe that's all it was, is that Mackattack just drew really well at the end of the game. I wasn't paying specific attention to that. Mackattack did ultimately hit on Chariot Race quite a bit towards the end. That's another thing. They had a lot more races, and I guess, races are worth more than border guards. So in that respect, there's some expectation that you would start to hit on those. But still, I have not generally seen the races hit that often, though I also haven't seen this like distribution before, where it's like so heavily tilted with one side having most of the border guards and the other side having most of the chariot races. Well, interesting stuff, and might be worth testing out a little bit more with the horn stuff. If like I kind of looked at horn and said, well, you can't mega turn with this because there's no draw, and then kind of wrote it off. But maybe getting like mixing in like 1 or 2 horns is the way to go. Like you need. I still think I certainly want Falconer as my first 5. Probably second 5, but I could see getting horns instead of 3rd Falconer, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to check that out. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm recording this on a Wednesday, but this won't go up until probably after the weekend because I need to wait for all the matches to finish so that I'm not like giving stuff away about the boards for like, you know, that could be relevant for other matches that we're going to play. At that point, I should have already played my match in this tournament. So then the next thing coming up will be, you know, more league stuff or more matches in this tournament, including possibly more commentary of my teammates. So yeah, thanks for watching, and until then.